Shankaram 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 Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krito Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Namah Pranavarthaya Shuddha Jnanaikamoortaye Nirmalaya Prashantaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryan Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The previous verse, the Shastra talks about one Mudhaha, people who do not have clarity of purpose. Purushashtha is not there. But he refers to here to karmatas, people who are great Vaidika followers, who really say, I should do what Shastra tells me to do, who follow everything that the Karma Kanda tells them, who argue that Shastra has to tell me what to do. So any sentence which does not have a specific instruction, do this or don't do this, is not really the purpose of Shastra. And why do all this or not do this? There also they limit their thinking. Do this or don't do this is created so that at the end of this Janma, I can go to a more pleasant loka. So somebody will question him, saying, why do you want to wait till the end of the Janma? Here also you can do that, no? That is the second category. The first category, Shastra calls Mudhaha. People who are unclear about what is required, what is the purpose of life, what is it that their ultimate goal is. But they have complete Shraddha in the Shastra, and they say, therefore, my purpose is to follow what the Shastra says. That will take me to Swargaloka or Brahmaloka. Against them, another group argues, why do you want to wait till then? All this that it is telling you to follow is very tough. There's a lot of pain in doing that. It'll ask you to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning or earlier, Brahma Muhurta time, do this, do the other. All that will tell you to do, you have to do that. It'll also tell you, don't have desire for things which everybody else in the world has what desires for. Don't get misled by that. That means I'm missing out on all of that. All that I see around me, people getting, I don't get because I'm following Shastra. Why wait till the end of the life? Because at the end of the life, what do you get? You go to a place where you're seeking sukha of some kind. That is, how do you know? Because Shastra says so, and I follow Shastra. Shastra says if I do like this, I will go to Swargaloka where there is no ills, no dukkha. So, this second group argues that you may be right, because you're accepting the Shastra. But there are two problems in what you're doing. One, can anybody confirm that it is like that? That there is Swargaloka, that you can go there and you can have a life, a good life? Has anybody come back from Swargaloka and told you that? Has anybody seen it personally? No. Then how do you say it is there? Shastra says so. You know, in our culture, particularly in the south, even in the north, we say, Kis Shastra mein likha hai ye? Which Shastra tells you this is the way it is? Because we have such inherent Shraddha in the Shastra that if it is there, we accept it is true. But there are lots of people who question that, saying that not there because I can't see it. I can go to Honolulu. I know a lot of people who've been there and come back, the beautiful beaches. I can see pictures of that. Therefore, I can accept it. But tell me one person who's gone to Swargaloka, come back and said it's like this. Or can you show me some evidence that there is such a Swargaloka? So this category of people negate that argument of a karmata, saying that I must live a life which is frugal, which is simple, which is tough, in order that I can go to a life which is pleasant. He said, why wait? Abhi kar lo na. You do whatever you want to do now. Why do you want to follow any karma and things like that? Where for an uncertain, definite future? You do what you can. If you think money will give you some joy, get money by hook or crook. Why do you want to wait? Take a loan. Because the loan you can get. People get loans only when genuine people go to get a loan from the bank, they won't give you. But when crooked people go, they all get loans. At least it was like that for many, many, many years. I know when we tried to build this ashram, we also needed a bank loan. Several people approached us. Give us 10%, we'll get you the loan. Brokers. You take a loan, don't repay it. क्या फर्क पड़ता है? Anyway, you will die. So that kind of an argument where there is no Shraddha in the Shastra, there is no acceptance of what the Shastra says. Such people are, if those first category are called Mudhas, these are Ati-Mudhas. Even worse. At least when you do things as you have been told to do by Shastra, even if though the purpose is to go to another loka, that's all punya karma, and some bit of the punya karma will be adrishta in the form of punya, in the form of helping towards atma shuddhi, chitta shuddhi, in the form of allowing us to take one more step in the direction of moksha, even though the person does not know moksha and does not go with the intention of that one step. Here there is no such possibility. This person is not even aiming for another loka. These are athimudhas who just don't understand anything. So in the first category, if the purushartha that they have determined that they want is other lokas, which sometimes is called dharma. Dharma means punya papa. You do punya papa and you punya basically that you will take, it will take you to another loka which is pleasant. So there purushartha is dharma. Here In the second category, the Purushartha is only Artha and Kama. Somehow I get whatever the Loka can give me without thinking, without doing careful analysis of saying what am I getting and what is the plus and minus of what I'm getting. What is the cost benefit analysis? Where is the cost benefit analysis? Without doing any of those, they sink themselves into sheer sense pleasure work. Every religion, as we saw, has certain do's and don'ts. Irrespective of what religion I follow, I don't follow those rules given by my religion. I will follow what is going to give me an immediate pleasure. Now and here. The second problem with the karmata, who accepts Shastra as the pramana and therefore follows what the Shastra tells him to do, does not recognize that the same Shastra tells you that your Purushartha is moksha and that you can gain moksha through jnanam. And whatever you do in preparation for it, you do so that you're ready and you have enough punya to access this knowledge, access the guru, and you can gain moksha. That is also here and now. That doesn't have to wait for another janma. Same Shastra tells him that. But he doesn't see it. He only sees that portion of the Shastra which tells him to do these things so that he can go to various lokas. Which is better? The first category or second category? Really speaking, both are mudhas. Only thing is, the first category of mudha has a possibility that he will have some element of punya karma which will give him some amount of atma shuddhi. Like I said, one more step, even if it's a small step, towards moksha. Second category has to wait longer and longer and longer. Mudha and perhaps athimudha. And since they don't accept Shastra, they don't accept any afterlife. Although one little bit of thinking will tell them that there has to be something. Why is there so much difference between children born at the same time in the same place? Why is it that one child, from where does the child get such prodigious knowledge of one particular field, a language or music or whatever? And these days there are so many of them floating around in the net. A 1.5-year-old child can barely speak, identifies all the ragas. Where does that come from? So many things are visible to us, but they don't want to think all that. They simply say, I will accept what I can see. Anything else is a question mark at best. Being such mudhas, their entire approach is what is described in this mantra. Ata eva mudhatvat.
Ateva mudhatvat.
Therefore, being mudhas, what do they do? Na samparaya pratibhati balam.
Na samparaya pratibhati balam.
Pramadhyantam vittamohena mudham.
Pramadhyantam vittamo mudham.
Ayam loko nasti para iti.
Ayam
Ayam
loko
loko
nasti
nasti
para idi
Put it
nani.
differently. Ayam loko nasti para
Ayam
Ayam
loko
loko
nasti
nasti
para
para
iti mani punah punar vashamapadyate me.
iti mani punah
punah
punar vashamapajyate.
padyate.
Dharmaraja is describing this group of people and one word, beautiful word, na samparayaha. Samparayaha samyak paraiyate. Para is paraloka. Samyak paraiyate is samparaya. That means other lokas. In fact, the Tikakara says, Samyak parakale dehapatat urdhvameva iyate. Where you go after the body falls. Iyate meaning gamyate. In dhatu. There are many such dhatus where the meaning is gatav, to go. Out of the 2000 odd dhatus, you will find many where the meaning is just gatav and can be used in all kinds of meanings. Gamyate iti arthaha. Samparaya means other lokas, the afterlife. Samyak para iyate. Samyak para kale dehapatat urdhvameva iyate. We've seen this word before. Where did we see it? Yat samparaye mahati bruhinastat. Yat samparaye mahati naha bruhi. In the first valley. That samparaya, that afterlife, the great afterlife, mahati samparaya. Tell me about that. Nachiketa is asking Yamadharmaraja. As my third boon, having rejected all the temptations that Yamadharmaraja laid in his way, yat samparaye mahati bruhi, naha bruhi, tell us. What is that afterlife? What happens after the body falls? There, I remember Acharya says, Samparaye paraloka vishaye. After the body falls, wherever the paraloka is, where the journey takes one to. Same word, samparaya. Samparaya, we saw, is the paraloka. Samparaya is the means by which you go to paraloka. What is the means? Paraloka gati is by earning adequate punya of a certain type. Therefore, I go to paraloka by earning punya. How do I earn punya? Go back to the first category of people. By following what Vedas tell me to do and avoiding what Vedas tell me not to do. It's not an easy life. As seen from the eyes of a person who is very much samsari. For him, that's a very tough life. Sometimes I have had the little argument with people. When they talk about Brahmana being a superior caste. In the first place, I don't accept caste at all. That's nonsense. But what is the superior, inferior? Where did it come from? If you look at the life of a Brahmana as prescribed, that ashrama, very tough. The kind of thing that the Brahmana is supposed to do morning through night is not easy. He is not supposed to own things, no mamatvam. Which, how do you, in this context, seen from the world perspective, call that superior? He is supposed to live on bhiksha. He is called a bhikshu. Therefore, not have very great taste. He eats to keep the body together. That's his life. And you call him superior? On what basis? Where is the pramana? Swadbannam natu yachyatam pratidinam bhikshena santushyatam. Take bhiksha as a medicine for a disease called hunger, not to satisfy taste. That is the life of a Brahmana. So, what Shastra prescribes is a fairly tough life for everybody, in fact. So, if the fellow says, I want to go to Swargaloka, and therefore I'm going to strictly follow what Shastra tells me to do, that means, from the perspective of this second category of people, he is giving up all the luxuries that he can get in this world for an uncertain possibility of going to a loka which he had never seen, nobody's ever seen, from where nobody has come back and described. And talked about or written about, which from the perspective of this second category sounds foolish. But it will not sound foolish to somebody who has absolute shraddha in the Shastra. To him, this is true, this is it, there's nothing else. So one word, samparaya, meaning the one who follows the injunctions of the Shastra, which is the means for going to other lokas, positive lokas, Vargaloka, Brahmaloka, ityadi. That Samparaya, what does it do? Pratibhati, Samparaya, Prati na bhati. That has no appeal to him. What these arguments and any other argument you may come up with. What Swargaloka are you talking about? How do you know? There is no evidence. A bird in hand is better than two in the bush. So why should I wait? I will take what I can get. That Samparaya Prati na bhati. To whom? Earlier it called him Buddha, he is called him Balam. Immature thinking, who's no clarity about what is good for him. And therefore they are pramadhyantam. Pramadhyantam comes from the dhatu mad. One of the meanings of mad is insanity. Pagal. Unthinking. deluded by unthinking vitta moham, unthinking attachment, moha to wealth, to artha, kama. That Muda Purusha, Pramadhyantam, that person who is indifferent to Shastra, Vitta Mohena Mudam, one who is deluded, who can't see beyond his nose. Such a person, what does he say? Ayam lokaha nasti para. This is the loka. Where I am now is the loka. So when you say, in Shastra, we talk about Jagat. Jagat consists of everything, known, unknown, near, far, small, big, everything. Living, non-living, everything. Therefore, entire cosmos. But this fellow restricted to what I know. That is the only world. Everything else is unknown. No guarantees. And since I don't accept Shastra as a pramana, there is no way of proving any of those. But we know that even our cosmology keep discovering new things every day. And the beauty of it is, when cosmology discovers new things, then they go back to the Shastra and find that it's already there. Only 100 years ago, they discovered Rahu Ketu. They call them shadow planets. But Rahu Ketu has been there in our Panchangam for God knows how long. So they slowly discover new things. This fellow doesn't accept any of those. What I know, how much do you know? You know only what is around your house. He says, yeah, that's a reality. I'll accept something because some people have seen and come back and told me. I know I can go to Maldives, beautiful beaches. I have not been there, I have not seen it, but I know a lot of people who went there and came back. And they've described the whole thing. And if I go to a travel agent, he gives me all the brochures, he'll give me a video. So I have some evidence to my senses. But don't talk to me about Swargaloka because I can't, nobody can give me an evidence. No travel agent can give me what is Swargaloka like. So he said, this known Jagat is the Jagat. There is nothing else. Ayam lokaha nasti para iti. Other than this, then nothing. This is the loka. So if this is the loka, why not enjoy what I get? And go away from what is not nice. So there are people like that, In fact, Shastra, you read this thing, there are people who are classified like this. Whose entire philosophy is this, based on certain beliefs. What happens to such people? Yamadharmaja says, what is their fate? What happens to them? People who think like this, iti mani, may punah vasham apadhyate. They get caught by me. They fall into me again and again. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatare shayanam. Iha samsare bahudukari. No escape. Such people keep going on. Even the first category will come back. Only they don't recognize it. And although they say, I accept what Shastra says, They forget the Shastra says that is temporary, you will come back. They don't have that. They only take selectively what Shastra says. So Yamadharmaraja says, both categories of these people are stuck, bound in the samsara. They keep coming into my grip again and again. Even the first category, he says, he's going to escape me and go to Swargaloka. I don't go to Swargaloka, but I don't have access to Swargaloka. But I don't have to. He'll come back. He'll come and fall in my trap on his own. Once he finishes Punya and Swargaloka, he has to come back to me only. Where will he go? So Yamadharmaraja makes it very clear that they think they know everything. Panditam manyamanaha. And with that kind of thought, and this category is worse. He says, I am Loka is only Loka. There is no other Loka. So, that cycle they get stuck in does not leave them. Samparayaha balam vittamohena mudam. Vittamoha is only a upacharikam. Moha of artha and kama completely covers their intellect. Ataeva pramadhyantam prati na bhati. Na pratibhati. It does not reach out to them, does not appeal to them. Galoka, etc. has no appeal because Shastra has no appeal. And therefore, ayam lokaha nasti para iti mani. They are the ones who argue that this is all there is. And therefore, they come again and again, punah, punah, me vasham apadhyate. They fall into my grip. I don't have to do anything. They'll come again. They die. They're born again. Depending upon what they've done, born as whatever, in whichever loka, go through the whole process again, come back to me. Acharya takes up this samparaya word itself and talks a little more about it. Like in the previous time the word came up, he simply said, Mahati, afterlife. He explains a little bit more. He talks about the derivation of the word. Na samparaya pratibhati.
न साम्परायः प्रतिभाति
Samparaya, other loka. Other loka don't have any appeal. They don't see them. Na samparaya prati na bhati. What is samparaya? He says, sampareyate iti samparaya. Let's see this. Sampareyate iti
Samparayati
samparaya
सम्परायः
paralokaha
परलोकः
tat prapti prayojanaha
तत्प्राप्तिप्रयोजनः
प्रयोजनः
visheshaha
साधनविशेषः
साधनविशेषः
शास्त्रीयः
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 samparayah
साम्परायः
सम्परायः
sampareyate samparayate
Sampariyate.
parayate. We're going to the other lokas. That is samparayah. Samyak, para and in dhatu, in gatau. Samparaya. That is paralokaha. So Samparaya is Paraloka and derived by that which is the you go to after the death of the body. Samparaya, Samparaya, Paraloka. Tat Prapti Prayojana. Sadhana Vishesha. What is the means for doing that? What is the means for getting there? Acharya makes it very clear that means for getting there is given in the Shastra. Means for getting there is only punya. And that punya you earn by following Shastra. Tat prapti, to attain that, prayojanaha, sadhana visheshaha, shastriyaha. That is called samparaya. Samparaya is paraloka. Samparaya is the means to paraloka, which is Shastra. Sacha balam
Sacha balam
avivekinam
avivekinam
pratibhati
pratina pratibhati
na prakashate
न प्रकाशते
nopatishthate ityetat.
no
नोपतिष्ठते
patishthat
इत्येतत्
etat
Alam, that unthinking, childlike person, avivekinam, who cannot distinguish between the different purushartha, who cannot see the correct purushartha, for him, sa prati samparaya prati to the samparaya, which is the shastra, which is the means for gaining paraloka, na bhati, na pratibhati. It does not reveal him, it is not seen by him, not there for him. He doesn't accept the shastra. Na prakashate, is not visible to him. He cannot see it. Na upatishtate, it's just not there. He doesn't follow the Shastra because they don't accept the Shastra. Ityetat. He is a confused person because he is not thought this through. And what kind of person, what does he do? Pramadam kurvantam. I told you pramadam comes from mad dhatu. Prapurva mad dhatu. With some prefix later. Pramadam. Pramadam kurvantam. Who is not accepting, who's careless, who's indifferent to Shastra, because of what? Why is he indifferent to that? He's so immersed in this Arthakama. So Acharya says, Putra Pashvadi Prayojaneshu
putra pashvadi prayojaneshu
Asakta Manasam
asakta manasam
Putra Pashu Adi Prayojaneshu Asakta Manasam.
पुत्र पशु आदि
प्रयोजनेषु आसक्तमनसम्
So stuck with Arthakama, Putra Pashu Adi, or with name, fame, all the other things that generally the world follows. Putra Pashvadi Prayojaneshu Asaktaman. In that he is completely stuck. asaktam, his mind is completely stuck in asakta manasam. That person called pramadhyantam. Tatha
तथा
vittamohena
मोहेन
vittanimitena
वित्तनिमित्तेन
vivekena
अविवेकेन
मूढ़म
मूढं
तस्माच्छन्नम
तस्माच्छन्नं
तस्माच्छन्नम संतम
तस्माच्छन्नं सन्तं
अयमेव लोकः
अयमेव लोकः
लोकः
योऽयं दृश्यमानः.
योऽयं दृश्यमानः
Stop it there. That person tatha vittamohena because of this putra pashvadishu asakta manasam, with that moha, because of that moha, that person tata vittamohena vittanimiktena avivekena, not recognizing anything beyond that. Aviveki, he says, Moodham. We call him Athi Moodham. Tamasa Achannam.
तमसा आच्छन्नं
Completely covered by ignorance. Achannam. Why tamas? The person is, he can't think beyond that. Tamasa Achannam Santam, being completely covered by ignorance. What does he say? Ayameva lokaha. To him, this loka is all that exists. This loka means what? The known world. This is all that exists. Because of his own ignorance. Why does he say that? Yoyam drishyamanaha.
योऽयं
दृश्यमानः
Because this can be seen. I can see or somebody else can see. But drishyamanaha. This is only Jagat. Anything else I don't know, and I don't give any credence to something I don't know. I here mean not just I, but the entire mankind does not know. And therefore that doesn't, as far as I'm concerned, is not existent. Why is he doing that? Because of his such great asakti to arthakama. Eat, drink and be merry. That's his philosophy. Sri Annapanadi Vishishtaha.
प्रियन्नपानादिविशिष्टः
This world is made for me to enjoy. I know this world. I know what I can get to enjoy. If I have to steal it, so what? How does it matter? Who can prove to me that if I steal, I'll have a problem? Can you prove to me? I don't feel it. I steal it. I see something very nice. I think it's going to give me pleasure. I'm going to take it. What if it belongs to somebody else? How does it matter? I don't accept any afterlife. Therefore, how does it matter if I take somebody else's thing? Somebody has a very nice thing. If I have to stab him and take it from me, I'll take it. All I have to do is worry about the law. We'll pick somebody's pocket. one of the very common ways people steal. They'll drop a few notes down. A gang. And they'll tell you, sir, aapka paisa gir gaya. So you bend down to pick it up. And before you realize, in that just fraction of a time, somebody will take away your things that you have. I've been a victim of this. Somebody took away my computer from the car by doing this little trick. I felt foolish. A very smart way of doing it. As far as he is concerned, I've got a new computer. What is wrong in that? Why should I not do it? Unfortunately, in a place like Kumbh, also people have been trying this. In a place where people should be thinking of Daivam, there are people who also think of this, Asura Bhavam. Because nobody can explain to them why it is not good for them. They can only see that my sense pleasure gets fulfilled because I get something out of that which I can use to gain some pleasure. This is what their whole argument is. Stri Annapanadi Vishishtaha. That's all they care about. And as the world moves more towards instant gratification, I must get my sense satisfaction here and now. I cannot wait. At least the previous group of people, they said, I don't want it now. I'm willing to wait till after death to get it later. Neither of them recognize that you don't have to wait. You can get absolute Ananda because you are absolute Ananda. You are Ananda Swarupa. All you have to do is to recognize that by removing the ignorance. Neither recognize that. So here, his whole focus is Sri Annapana Vishishtaha is Nasti Para Lokaha. They are Adrishta Lokaha. I want evidence. Evidence is my senses. I will not accept anything. I am a court of law to myself. I will only accept that evidence. Ityevam mananashilaha.
Ityevam
Manashīlaha.
Mani. One who Mani from the text. Mananashilaha. One whose entire philosophy is this. I will accept what I can perceive. And as far as I can perceive, this is the only Jagat. In this Jagat, Sri Annapanadi Sukha are there. I will grab what Sukha I can get. Others, bhad mein jaye. That's his entire attitude. Not recognizing that he will go round and round in circles without ever getting out. So, Ramana says, for such people who are manis of this philosophy, whose entire thinking is based on this, punah punaha janitva
Janitva.
vasham madani
Vasham Madanita.
mat adhinatam madani
Mad Adhinatam.
adhinatam mat adhinatam. Come to me.
Adhinatam.
They come to me. Mat adhinatam. Come under me. Punah janitva vasham madadhinatam. Apadyate me.
पद्यते मे
संपद्यते मे
Mrityoho mama.
अपपद्यते
Oh, Mama.
I'm going to back into Mrityu only to be Punah Janitva. Only to be born again and again. Come back here, born again and again. Come back here, born again and again. Swamiji's description of that is born is gone, born is gone, born is gone, born is gone, born is gone. That's all they do. No getting out of that. And in this Janana Marana cycle, characterized by dukkha. No, Swamiji. If I go to another loka, I don't get dukkha. That is the previous category. For how long? Finite time. You have to come back. Come back either in the form of animal, which is really papa karma phala, or as a manushya, which is the mishra phala. Both, but dukkha is something you can't avoid. Janana maranadi lakshana dukkha prabandha
जनन मरण
जनन मरणादि लक्षण
प्रबन्धारूढः
One word. So we have to read it together, but if you break it, Janana Marana Adi Lakshana Dukkha Prabandha Arudaha.
जनन मरण आदि लक्षण दुःख प्रबंध आरूढ़
Aruda means riding on. That Janana Marana, born again, die again, born again, die again, is Dukkha Prabandha. Whether you like it or not, you have to be in the cycle which is Dukkha.
Would you like to marry a Chinese wife?
Dukkha Aruda Eva Bhavati Tyarthaha.
Eva bhavati
आरूढ़ एव
taha.
भवति इत्यर्थः।
What is the fate of almost everybody? Prayena
Prayena
evam vida
evam vidha
eva lokaha
eva lokaha.
ayena is mostly, generally. This is the way it is in this loka. Very simple. Today, if you look at the total world population, how many of them are in this category or at best in the previous category? Almost everybody. So, prayena I evam vida is like this only. Eva lokaha. People are either like this or at best like the previous category. This is the largest category because the largest category of people in this Jagat do not have access to Shastra. And even those who have access to Shastra, out of them, many do not accept Shastra. We in India who have access to the Shastra, who have had access to this for many, many generations, have also been losing it. Thanks to various circumstances. We have generally stopped following what Shastra tells us to do. There are many categories in our various types of ashramas who are supposed to have Janev, the process, Upanayanam. Not Upanayana. Many of them have lost it. Many families don't even bother to do it to their children. They slowly that is being dropped. Veda Pathashalas don't even get children to study. I get requests from many Veda Pathshalas. We give free education, free food, free everything, but we're not getting children to study. That's getting lost. In the world, people don't have access. In a place like Bharat, there is access, but many of us are losing it because of this attraction to Vittamoha. Very nicely, Putra Pashvadi get completely deluded by these Arthakama, which has never been as a matter of priority in the society. Never been a matter of priority. Not that you don't enjoy it. Enjoy it. But understand the position of that in the society. Instead, what has happened in the society, we are look at somebody and the first emotion that comes to most people is jealousy. Which is not the way we were supposed to think. So a lot of people follow this category. India's population, 1.4 billion out of the 9 billion or so of the world. Out of the say 1.5 for ease of calculation, out of the 7.5 billion other people, an odd one here, an odd one there, an odd one here has access to the Shastra. Out of the 1.4 billion people, about 20% are already converts. Their ancestors may have followed Shastra, but they've lost it. So that already takes out another chunk, 30 lakhs. Out of the balance 1.1, 1.2 billion people, a good large chunk have also lost it. We have famous things happening in Tamil Nadu where the powers that be are trying their best to make sure that everybody loses it. The loss is to humanity. Loss is not an individual to one person. The beauty of this is this has been recognized by Shastra not today, for whenever it was conceived. So obviously, even at that time, the same logic applied. Perhaps applies even more so today than before. But the same logic applied. Therefore, Upanishad says all this. It's not that somebody, some Mahan sitting here telling you this. It's there in the Upanishad. So part of this 13 shlokas in the second Valli that Yamadharmaraja talks about in response to Nachiketa, talks about all of these things. Helps us think, where are we and where do we want to go? Why does this happen? That also some explanation is given in the further mantras. And remember, this is God knows how many thousands of years old. It's applicable even today. Applicable then, more applicable today. We will look at this in next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.
Hri Om Swamiji. Namaskaram.
Om Swamiji.
Om Swamiji.